All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So, again, there's a way of understanding that we understand, and it's not the right way. I've been there, you've been there. Well, based upon what I say, again, God has to judge you. And I've said that God could say everybody on earth is forgiven and free at any given point. But there are indications in scriptures that somebody's responsible for the mess here. And that's damn a don't like that concept. But she was on a prayer line last night. You know what she told me? She told me to eat garlic. So I got to get some garlic ready here. I think I might be starting to feel a little better. I should have caught that I had a infection because I have panic attacks when I have an infection. Just so sad that it took all that to figure it out. So that medicine never worked. What it was confusing to me is I didn't know if it was the pressure I was feeling was neurological because I had all that work that was being done. I mean, it was just really bad timing for all of it. So that other antibiotic really didn't do much for it. That was horrible. I wish I could have had this antibiotic, and then it would have had some effect, and I wouldn't have had this happen. My microphone went out. I'm glad that I was able to reconnect with the church, but there's other more gentle ways to do that. Again, it's not me. It's the system. I can see now. I have no idea why the system was able to trigger the whole thing in a different direction. To make it easier, my hearing comes back, and it makes it a lot easier for me to get around and do things in church and whatnot. And again, a lot of people do have that happen. So. All right, so it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know if my hearing's coming back or what. At this point, I couldn't figure that I was on the corticosteroid, which causes the infection to increase, or, to have the increased ability. And I was just like, it's almost like being immunodeficient. I just didn't get to it. Couldn't figure it out. I'm just hoping everything reverses. My doctor seems to think there's a good chance that it will. I don't know how I got to these other people. Like I said, I couldn't get to my family doctor. I couldn't start up with a family doctor. Everything was falling apart with it. And he ends up getting hacked shortly after I enter in. Is weird, right? Why bam? Trying to push me away from healthcare. Prussians for a while, though. Told you all not to bother me because I target of Russians and whatnot. That's very sad. Very sad what just happened. I was days away from restoring physically from I mean I'm not 100%. I was going to hit the next level. I was going to go to physical therapy, hit the next level, but all the indications of an infection were there. I just couldn't see it. And I told my brother, that the hydrochlorothiazide just doesn't work for me because it doesn't allow me to clear my sinuses, I think. And he just poo-pooed it, and I ended up back on that stuff. Which carries, issues in itself. My blood pressure is really not that high. I just got sick, and I couldn't get my exercise, and I'm getting the infections, which make me nervous, which puts my blood pressure up when I'm at the doctor. I walk a lot. So hopefully here in the near future, I'll be able to get somewhere and get this thing going and have a normal life again, or somewhat normal. I'm not even sure if I hear better today or not. I went outside to talk to a few people to see if, I notice anything. Because I was at the doctor's office, I couldn't hear some people too well. But I was outside today, and I could still hear people. And I was talking to a woman, and we were outside, so the background noise. It could be a case of where it's getting better, but I don't know. I got no idea what they thought they were doing, to tell you the truth. I'm going to have to cook this. Says you have to let it sit for a period of time to get the allicin or whatever it's called in it to start coming out. Oh, I was definitely somewhere. I've definitely had the feeling that as soon as I stopped using that magnesium oil, that all of my, my body would start healing a little to the next level, because it wasn't going to cramp anymore. And it did happen. I got to get back on my Persian Gulf illness paperwork in a bit. Again, it's just a lot of stuff's overwhelming, and you don't want us to add to it. If I hadn't had this happen, I'd be back in the swing of things. Again, there's a possibility, a small possibility, that my ears are starting to heal a little bit. But, it's not some leaps and bounds yet. So I'm outside and trying to test sound. Yeah, it sounds like I heal better. Like, I don't hear great, but I hear better than I did. Oh, yesterday was miserable. But I had a lot of pressure on my face. So all I needed was antibiotic. That's so sad. I had to go, 4 days, 5 days without antibiotic. Like my whole regimen was destroyed. I was, I do the elderberry and everything. I wasn't using that. I mean, I just couldn't. I was just off of everything. So I'm not sure what the devil is going on, but it's definitely bizarre. That's the problem. I'm living alone, and I knew that I didn't want to live alone. I know the key. I knew the key to all of this was for me to get married. I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to have a too good of a life if I didn't find a good wife and get married. And of course, they knew that too, so they blocked it. I mean, these things have to stop. I mean, they spent how long blocking me from people? No, that's what that is. This idea where it's some investigative technique is BS. Right. Well, when I get back on my new, when I can get on my new Facebook page or a page that I build or Facebook profile, I can't get the page won't go, and it's a lot of issue with trying to create the page for my new profile. So when I get to that, then I'll change the focus. I mean, it just was crushing because someone was saying, look at your tinnitus is real low. It's not bad. Your hearing's doing okay. Right. And then boom. I mean, it was bizarre. Right. I knew my body was, just days away from at least restoring to a point. Like I drove to my doctor's office yesterday and it didn't bother me. They have too much vision. They have too much physical vision. They're stalking people. You need to arrest them. That's what you should be doing. That's why my life never went anywhere. You allow them to stalk me. They're not saving anyone. They're playing a game. I mean, it's horrible. I have no idea how this happened. Makes no sense. I woke up with a lot of pressure, my ears screaming. I couldn't figure out. I thought it was maybe neurological. That's what screwed me up. But again, they're in my head. They're doing me. I can't. You see that doctor I was trying to get to? I couldn't get to him. I mean, he's a good doctor. If I'd have went to him for a sinus infection, it'd already be figured out and it'd be done. Right. I probably shouldn't do that. Well, doxycycline was the wrong antibiotic. I mean, hopefully that the Lord, that all the healing. Met a lot of nice people on the phone lines, prayer lines, praying for me. I had no idea that they were giving me panic attacks all this time, and they knew it. I mean, they've done it to me for so long. The infection was real bad. I was freaking out real bad. I'm not totally comfortable yet, but hopefully this all goes away and I can get back to seeing people in church. I'll be really happy for the rest of my life. I mean, I'm sure some things will make me sad, but I'll go to church and I don't think the synagogue wants to see me. Maybe there'll be a Messianic Jew place I can go to and say, hey. Chabad is very guarded. I know that. I knew that. I still hear those people, but. So this woman told me she had her ears were all screwed up. She had sinus infection and ear infection until she ate garlic. She said it could be coincidence, but they were giving her antibiotics. She said it wouldn't work. She said I took some garlic, crushed it, left it out 10 minutes. Bam, I was better. But the pressure definitely is reduced on the head. Only question is, will the ears return? I couldn't figure it out. I'm thinking, is this from neurological symptoms or is this from something else? I should have figured out I needed an antibiotic. Again, they doing stuff by stalking somebody and then they curse them off and they can't get to their own mind. Let be God. Sorry, Larry. No, it never. The doxycycline didn't work, and I didn't figure it out. I should have went right back for another round of antibiotics. Right. I mean, it worked to a small degree, but not what I needed. No, they operate me from the people in the church, and it just freaks me out. I can't get back to it. Like everything else, doctors, everything. Well, just pay them money and say it's an investigation. That's what they do. Still trying to find if anybody needs 20 pounds of rice.